Good morning. Greetings from Colorado with my trusty sidekick, Lucy. Isn't she cute? She decided to be out here in the RV with me today because she doesn't want to be in the house. So we're going to have her with us today. So you'll hear her whine and groan and probably knock things out of my hands because she wants attention, that sort of thing. So prepare yourselves for that. She might actually just be good and sit there guarding the couch like she does. Okay, so I apologize for missing my normally scheduled floss tube 2 weeks ago. I was tired. So, and as many of you may or may not know, it takes a while to put together a floss tube video, unless you're just, doing a video, not even editing and just throwing it on there. I mean, that'll take as long as it takes you to, you know, make the video, but I like to edit and stick stuff in and all that good stuff. So, what has happened in the last month? Um, Not a whole lot, really, but all of the good stitching happened in the last 2 days. Granted, I have been working diligently on Odd Clover, and here's where it's at now. So that's pretty good, right? Isn't that neat? I really, really am enjoying the colors and how they're starting to blend together. And this area right here looks very similar to the overlay when I drew the colors there and then drew the green over it. So that's kind of exciting, really, that it would catch that and kind of put that over that. So I have been nagged by my daughter. Actually, I was hoping she wouldn't say anything, but she caught me yesterday and said, where is my vest? Where's my patch? It's coming slowly. Okay. You know when you have something that you're making for someone and then you feel really pressured and you just don't want to stitch it anymore, and even though it's for a worthy cause like my baby bird, well, you know, I had to set it aside. But here's what I did. So it wasn't a total waste. The first thing I grabbed up was Weaver's Bird Cell. And as you can see, I got part 2 done, this part right here. So that's exciting. Wait, let me get behind it. There you go. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. And the color choices actually look really good now that it's, all big. I know there's one more section here for the legs, and then we move on to a different motif, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm assuming that's how it's going to be. And then, let's see, I had gotten part 2 of the Mamluck series done, and I'll insert a picture here of when I finished part 2, right here. And you'll notice that there's a different blue on there. I didn't read the directions. I just thought I'll grab that color, the new color, because it's on the pattern, and I'll stitch it. And the funny thing is, I posted it to Magical Sal's group, and nobody said anything. Nobody said, is that the color you want to use? I mean, everybody's got the same pattern. Well, there's 2 to choose from, but I don't know why. Anyway, I don't know why there's 2. Either way, you look at them and there's 3 colors now on the color key. There's that beautiful blue that we started off with, and then now we go into another blue and a red. well, I knew the red was coming, so blue and red. But it confused me because I was wondering why that blue, it didn't go, so I was really hating the blue. So I was talking to Magical about it, and I said, I really hate that blue. And she says, well, that blue isn't supposed to be there if you had read the directions. I'm like, I have a whole group of people. Somebody could have said when I posted that picture, that's not the right, that's not the right blue. You're doing it wrong. I told you there's groaning and sighing and whining. Anyway, so after I finished the Weaver's bird cell, I pulled out the Mamluk. I ripped out all the blue I didn't like, and I finished it again with the blue that I do like. And that's very pretty because that's the way it's supposed to be right there. Let's see if I can get that in there with my hands. There we go. How's that? Hope you can see that all right. Yeah, so that came out pretty good. I'm very pleased with it now. You know, strangely, the Mamluk sow looks very southwestern to me, so curious. I don't think I showed this to you last. No, I didn't because this is new. So we have the ornament of the month, and they're all going to have this blank square in the middle, but the pattern on the outside square is going to be the same. So here's January and February, as you can see, very pretty. And yes, I'm doing them all in the green, the lime green. So I don't know if you can see in person, they're very pretty. There you go. So did that, but I didn't do this one I didn't do yesterday. I did this a couple weeks ago, and I don't remember if I've shared it anywhere. I've got to share this stuff. I'm just lacking. Now the 50 by 50, this is as far as I've gotten on that, but that's because I was doing it at lunch, and I had started out stitching all the way across and didn't like that because when I go down the sides are going to look like this. And so I ripped that part out. I redid this way to see what it would look like, and sure enough, there we go. Get in there. There we go. Isn't that pretty? And that's with, what is that with? It's one of the limited edition flosses by Jody Ree. So I think it's a 2016. Let's get the bag. It is September 2016 limited edition Elven Wood. No wonder I like it. It's really pretty colors too. So that one will get done when it gets done. I usually defer to that as a lunchtime project, but since I'm not working right now, I don't know when I'm going to pick it up again unless I want to take a break from odd clover. But I've got to get odd clover done soon for two reasons. One, because my baby bird is probably going to come here and hug me gently to sleep if I don't finish it soon, because she's starting to get uppity. A little uppity. Anywho, yesterday, so I finished the Weaver's bird cell, and then I fixed the Mamluk, and then I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do the 25 by 25 since we're sitting here. And if you'll remember last time when I did the 25 by 25, I was not really digging my three choices for colors, but now I am, because look at that. Aren't those cute? So side by side, they look really good, and I think they'll look really good as whatever it is I'm going to make at the end of the year. There's going to be a lot of finishing in December is what I'm thinking. I need to set that whole month aside just to finish stuff, right? We shall see. But I did that. And then, because I still felt motivated, even though my daughter caught me and said, hey, I still felt motivated to start the March neglected floss pattern. Now, some of you are probably asking, you know, why don't we have the March neglected floss pattern? And it's because Magical and I and our friend Gail like to do a pre-stitch so we can see if any adjustments need to be made to the pattern, which, you know, Magical's so good. They're using usually, I think the only time she's had to have an adjustment was this past New Year's Eve stitch along where she missed a stitch or something. I don't know. I didn't notice it myself, and when I looked at my finished piece, I didn't see anything wrong other than what I had done wrong. And we won't talk about that. Okay, so anyway, that's why you don't get to see the neglected floss pattern, and I do. Just, you know, that's just how it is. So, did that. Check, check. Oh my gosh. Okay, you have to bear with me because this is huge. So, since last week I didn't have a contract job or anything going on, it was time to cut all my fabric. I did cut all my fabric, and I ended up with, brace yourself, you see this pile here? This is 85 project bags. 85. 85. Let me go put this back. Oh my goodness. So that's just the fabric that's cut. I still have to cut the batting and the vinyl and then start sewing. Oh, kind of scary, but it needs to be done because if I'm not working, I have to make money somehow. So hopefully people want to grab up some project bags when I start putting them in there. I'll let you know. It'll take me a bit before I can start putting them on in my Etsy shop, but I figure once I get a few done at a time, I'll just start putting them in there. And so I'll put the link down below for my shop so that you can at least go fave the shop and get notified when new stuff goes in there so you can look. I don't mind if you go in and just fave the shop and never shop in there. It's fine by me, but it would be really great if you bought a floss pad or a project bag. I think there's 2 patterns in there right now. There are 2 patterns left. I have 2 patterns left in there. One's a Riolis, and I can't remember what the other one. Oh, the Canadian flag one. Super nice. Okay. What was it? Friday. Whatever day it was snowing. I think that was Friday. Well, it snowed a couple times last week. Okay, so I think it was Friday. I don't remember. Yep, it was Friday. Okay, so Friday I had to print out labels and stuff for 2 boxes I sent to my brother Joms. And so I took those to the post office, and then when I was coming home, I thought I better check the mail. So I checked the mail, and there was a pink slip in there saying I had to pick up a package. I'm like, okay, so 2 trips to the post office later, I get there, and there's this big box. It's huge, this giant box. And I'm like, I didn't don't remember ordering anything, but I forget stuff all the time, and I'm just mystified. I'm like, no, no. And then the postal lady brings it out, and I'm looking at it. It's from the Czech Republic, and I'm like, wow, okay. And I don't recognize the name, you know. And you know what? You need to see this box. It's huge. Okay, so I get this, and you see it's wrapped in that funky plastic that the Postal Service uses, because the box got beat up quite a bit. But here's the funny part. The box is all fallen apart. It's wrapped with plastic. It's got some really good stuffing in there. Put that aside. So I bring it home, and I really should have opened this at the post office because they're all curious, you know. People don't get stuff from the Czech Republic here in Eaton, Colorado. It makes me laugh. I'm like, small-minded, small-town people. It's fine. You know, I am from a small town, many small towns, but uh, I just, I don't get it, you know, like, hmm, massive TV watchers. I don't get it. Anyway, so I open the box, and I have to do this because you have to see this in all of its glory. So open the box, and I reach in, kind of scared, and I pull this out. Look at that. Is this not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life? Be honest. This is gorgeous. So I get up in there so you can see some of that detail. Yes, this is cross stitch. Ta-da! So here's the story behind this beautiful thing. I'm going to hold it right here because I just love it. Okay, so as you know, I'm a stitching pirate on DeviantArt, and a fellow pirate and I were talking about her stash. Well, she shared the fact that she owned this pattern, and I said, oh, well, when you're done stitching the pattern, would you like to trade, or I could buy it outright? And she says, oh no, I'll stitch it for you. And I said, okay, that would be great, because then I would have this. Well, that was a couple years ago, you know, and periodically she'd say, you know, I'm sorry it's taking so long. And I said, you know, I think I told you this last time, but I know these things take years, you know, because you get other things you want to do. Well, then she tells me one day that she has started it. And then a while later, I'm not sure how much time passed, she tells me it's finished, it's framed, and she's sending it. And that was January 25th. And it is, what is it now? February 23rd today, I think. Wait, what is today? Today's the 24th, I'm sorry. So, you know, almost a month later, I get this beautiful thing. But here's the funny thing. You saw the condition of the box, and yet this, it's in one piece. Look at how well framed it is. I'm going to turn it sideways. Look at that. Is that not the most beautiful framed? I'm leaving the corner pieces on because I don't want them to get dinged up. That's why they're on there. But, oh my gosh. This, I know who it's from now. And all I have to say is Dequi. If you watch this, my girl, Dequi. So, uh, there's that. Mm, yeah, it's glorious. I have it on my chair here. I have a place over by the kitchen that I can hang this forever. And that's where it'll stay. So now I have to pause the video. I am so sorry. So last week I went to my friend Stephanie's house, and she lives over in Loveland. And we were going to dye her fabric for the upcoming unconventional cross stitch stitch-a-thon. So how this is going to work is the first week, starting March 4th, you stitch 10 stitches. You do the before and after picture. That's it for that week, no pressure. I mean, you can continue stitching, that's no big deal, but you still have to do the before and after of the 10 stitches, just 10. The following week, you're going to stitch 100 stitches. Do the before and after pictures of that and continue on your merry way. The week after that is 200 stitches, before and after pictures, and finally the last week in March is the stitch-a-thon to see how much you can get done in, I think it's 10 days. I'll have to check on that, but we'll just say a week just to be safe. So I have to admit I've been doing a lot of trash talking because you're all going to go down. You're going down. I'm going to win. I'm the winner. I'm number one. That's right. Posturing. Talking trash. You're going down. I will stand victorious up on my box while I listen to the cries of the losers down below my boots as I stomp around victorious. I started the trash talking, and some people have been throwing it back at me. So anyway, in preparation for this, Stephanie needed help dyeing her fabric. I think she would have done just fine by herself, but this was more fun doing it together, so I'm just saying it was fun. So apparently I don't know how to take video with my phone, so half of the video I thought I was taking is not there. But that's okay, because what I do have is pretty good, and it gives you the gist of what went down. So here is the introduction to my friend Stephanie. Yeah, the 20 minutes of that.
Right? Trying to do some fabric. I hope this fabric turns out. I really do.
Okay.
Hey, get out.
All right, do it.
Hi. I'm Stephanie.
She actually has to call Steve.
Okay. I'm Stephanie. I'm Miss Gumi, also on DeviantArt. Stephanie Lynn on the Facebook thing. I've been stitching for 20 years almost. So having fun.
Longer than that.
Has it been longer? Okay, maybe longer than 20. I don't know.
Started your first one.
Okay, there you go. You gonna shake it for me? This is my son. What a helper. Thank you. How about that one?
He's tough. He keeps going.
Yeah, he's a helper.
Okay, I'm gonna pause. Okay, so the fabric that she had were two great big pieces of two different kinds of fabric. So she had MCG textiles, 18 count white Aida, and then she had 18 count that artiste fabric. It's a white Aida from Hobby Lobby. So that's what we were going to attempt to dye. And we had much discussion about methods of, you know, trying to figure out how to get the modeling done right and stuff like that. So here's a picture of the two fabrics. And you can see the difference between the Artiste and the MCG textiles. Neither one of them is exactly white. One has kind of a gray tint to it, and the other one's just kind of ecru. It doesn't, the packages said white. I'm just saying. Zweigert, that's the way to go. Anyway, so it's what she had. We're going with it. We're going to do this because, you know, she wants to stitch her voodoo dolls. And the fabric that she had ordered was expensive and not big enough. It wasn't big enough for what she wanted to do. So that was sad, but this was fun. So onward we go. And here's another clip of the process. So you can see how pretty that blue is. The blue is just gorgeous. That was royal blue Rit dye is what that was. And I'll tell you what, we didn't even put the whole bottle in there. I think she put half because we only had that one chunk of fabric. So why waste a whole bottle of dye, you know? So we got that in there, and that royal blue was just fabulous. Now remember, this is wet. We're looking at it wet, and I reminded Stephanie a few times that, you know, I hope it looks that good dry, but oh, so far so good, right? So then we finished with the blue, and here's a picture of the blue. So next up was the pink fabric. It was actually fuchsia, which was this beautiful fuchsia, and you'll see that here.
With fuchsia. Yes, I'm excited about the fuchsia now. There you go.
I think you're going to end up with something better.
Oh, look at that pretty pink.
Wow.
Oh, that's so pretty. And it's floating.
It's floating.
And the other one didn't.
Yeah, and this is that Hobby Lobby fabric.
Yeah. So this one we may have to stir a little bit.
I'll put something on top.
Here, put something on top of it. It's already so beautiful.
That is brilliant.
Yes, it is.
What is that stuff called? Hydrangea? No, wait. No. Another flower. Oh, just, that's a
Hibiscus?
Hibiscus. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Wow, look at that. And this is...
Oh, boy, that modeled nicely.
Yes, it did.
And, oh, just gorgeous. So the end result of that is here. I mean, what can I say? Both Stephanie and I were blown away that we actually did something that looked professionally made. Yeah. All right, here we go. How do you feel about it?
I love it. It turned out so pretty.
Look at that.
And it's going to work so much better for the projects I want it for.
I like how it goes, wow.
Yes, like an explosion of color.
Glorious.
So pretty.
She had watched some videos, and I had, you know, I've been playing around with dyeing fabric with different things for a long time, but this was the first time using Rit dye. I've been using Dylon. But it was interesting and it was fun, and then we dunked both of them in the fixative, which is weird because, you know, both Stephanie and I had rinsed out that fabric until it ran clear, but we put it in the fixative and it bled. So that was a little disheartening because, you know, we wanted that brilliant royal blue and that brilliant fuchsia. Well, the fuchsia's still brilliant. That's the way to do it.
Why on
But
earth
the
would we?
royal blue kind of dulled down a little bit, kind of put a little powder to the color. I don't know. That's just how it looked, but they still look really good. Uh, Pretty pleased with it, and I hope you enjoyed meeting Stephanie. She is a joy. That was a really good day. I mean, I did that with Stephanie, and then I got some propane that day. Everything just went so smoothly. Oh, I went grocery shopping. Been putting that off. Oh, you know, when I go to the stores, I don't like to mill around. I just want to get what I need and go. But, you know, unless I'm in Joann's, then I can mill around. But even then, I just want to go in there and get and go. Speaking of Joann's, President's Day sale last Monday. So, you know, I've purchased vinyl in the past a couple times, and not once has anyone done anything for my vinyl other than to roll it up like this, fold it in half, and stick it in a bag. Because the vinyl comes on those big rolls that you find in the upholstery fabric, you know, hanging on the dowels, you know. Well, this time I'm in there and the woman says, "Would you like your vinyl on a roll?" I said, "Do you have an extra one laying around?" Because I had no idea. They have a machine that they take the roll, they put it on the machine, they take your now cut vinyl, put it on the roll, and roll it up for you. Look at this. Perfect vinyl on a roll. And I can put my name on it, which I will when I empty this roll, and take it back in next time I buy vinyl. Well, that might be pretty darn soon because I have 87 project bags to make. I don't know though. That's 2 yards of vinyl. I mean, that's bigger than a yard wide. That's 2 yards long of vinyl. It's trying to fall down. There we go. So, I've never had that before. That was very exciting to me, and I kind of look forward to having that happen again. I just hope that I can remember to take my empty roll in, you know. I'll even save that bag so that they don't have to. They have bags for that. They have special bags for these long rolls. I just thought that was interesting that every time I've gone in to buy vinyl, and this is both at my regular Joann's in Greeley and the Super Joann's, neither place has ever offered to roll my vinyl. But what a great day that was when I came home with a rolled bit of vinyl. So great. So great. Ah, oh, we better check the book of knowledge, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. One last thing about when Stephanie and I were doing the dyeing. Neither one of us could say the word fixative. So, you ever seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Where they're trying to talk about their accompaniment? That guy that's with them, you know. That's what it was like for me and Stephanie when we were trying to say the word fixative. Both of us kept wanting to call it fixitant. Fixa. Okay, fun was had. I have to say that. And I think she and I should get together and dye everything. I don't know. Okay, let me look on my list. I think that's it. I really thought that this video would be a lot longer, and maybe it will be, with the video clips in there and everything, but yeah, I'm glad I had so much to show you today, and hopefully next time, when is next time? Let's look. Next time is March 10th. And yeah, March 10th will be the next time I see your lovely faces. And hopefully I have, a bunch of project bags done in my shop, so you guys can all stampede on over there and grab those up right quick. And maybe I'll have odd clover done. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, it's the confetti stitching. I don't like it. I whine more than the dog. Anyway, hi to Deb. I know you feel alone all by yourself in Alaska, but I do think of you, and I'm glad you got in on the trash talk. Trash talk is good. So if you haven't stitched in a stitch-a-thon before, and you have an unconventional cross-stitch pattern, or you want to get one, get something small. Get something you like. There's plenty to choose from on the website and on the Etsy store. So I think at this point there's something for pretty much everyone, unless you're straight sampler stitcher, then maybe not. But I try to think positive and think, you know, there's there's all kinds of stuff in there, and I don't see any reason why you couldn't at least go look and see if there's anything that you find appealing. If you don't like some stuff, don't look at that theme section. Like fetish, don't look at that if you're not into that. I'm not, but that's my preference. Kind of like, I think some people feel about that sort of thing the way I feel about stitching swear words. I don't think it's right. And some people don't think it's right to cross-stitch fetish pictures. That's cool. But I'm telling you, there's so much else. That's such bad English. There's so many other things in there in the shop and on the website. There's just there's no way you can't find one thing that you like. So go have a look. Make sure there aren't young children around in case you come across the more racier stuff. So, like the creepy clowns and stuff. Okay, creepy clowns aren't racy, but you know what I mean. The more disturbing images. But there's some really cool stuff in there, and yeah, there has to be, because I think now I own probably 30 patterns. So, and some of them aren't even on there anymore. So, yeah, I need to get stitching on those. Oh, well, things happen. Okay, so, let's see. I think that's it for now. Until next time, keep on stitching.